Hi, everybody, and this is Lydia Lopinto, and I am introducing my new publication on Substack called Good Vibes and Calming Stories. And this is sort of like a free calm. If you've used Calm to help with your anxiety, this is a free calm. And what I'm doing here is every week I have a newsletter that goes through, with the help of Grok, goes through all of the good news in the United States and puts them into a nice little newsletter for you to read. Just headlines, just to make you happy because, you know, the rest of the news is so depressing. Everything is so bad that it's enough to depress anyone. So, this will show you that yes, there are good things happening in the United States, and I'm going to send you a newsletter every week. If you like it, I'll run it every couple of days. Let me know how you like it. It's AI compiled, but I could tell you that it had a hard time finding good news, and I had to really play with it to get it to find them all over the country. But yes, there are good news. Even though we're used to media that has nothing but depressing, negative news, there are good news. The other thing I wanted to show you is I've made some videos out of my books. And the first book that I'm working on, I'm making videos, is Gratitude. And I have three videos that are free under the publication. And it goes through some of the book in a video form with a really nice narrative. It's very calming and it's a good supplement to the book Gratitude, which is available for, I think it's $14 on Amazon. I will put the links. Okay. You can also order it from me and I'll ship it to you free of charge. I won't charge you shipping. It's $15 and I'll sign it and ship it to you. I have a few copies on site, and if you order it, I'll order more and get them to you with my signature. Okay, so this is the book Gratitude. I also wanted to show you some of the other books that I have that are calming and about anxiety, being that I was a victim to anxiety a while back. Excuse my wig, but I've been in the pool. Okay, so I couldn't show you my hair the way it was. So this is my wig. All right. Um, this is one of our bestsellers. Lily Faces the Worry Monster, and the other bestseller is The Worry Monster for Boys. Okay, just show you some of the pictures in here. Where do I sell these? At craft shows. People pick them up like hotcakes, these books. And where did they sell? The UK. They are, I got so many sales from the UK. I do advertise in the UK, but these sold very well in the UK. Okay. This is all about children who develop anxiety. Who's not going to develop anxiety looking at the news? If they're even standing next to a TV talking about all kinds of wars and horrors, any kid would get worried and depressed and start crying. My granddaughter saw something about the war in the Middle East and she started crying right then and there. We had to calm her down, turn off the TV. She was very worried that the bombs were coming here. You have to be careful when you listen to these newscasts that the kids are not around, okay? And you know that it's all augmented and in your face every day to get you to vote for the right party. I'm not saying it's not real, it's real, but it's constant bombardment of wars everywhere and constant bombardment of our making us anxious and depressed. So this is the two books that I sell, and they're on Amazon too. But please buy them for me. I have copies. I will sign them, and I won't charge you for shipping. Buy them for me. You save money. Okay. My website is going to be linked at the bottom of this, and you can just order directly from my Shopify store, and I'll get it to you as soon as possible. And we do keep about 5 to 10 copies only in stock in my office. If I see sales are coming in, I may buy some more from Amazon. But I print them all on Amazon because it has turned out that after research, Amazon does have the best printing network for me. And most of my books are print. I don't do downloads anymore. It's just not worth it. Okay, the other book, of course, I showed you Gratitude. I'm going to show you this one, Freedom from Narcissists. This is a book that's also a personal story, and it will take you step by step through storytelling on how to break away from the narcissist in your life or your job. Even, I mean, a lot of people are, maybe they don't have one in their life, but they have to go to work and face one every day. So these are stories of how people broke away from narcissists. Okay, all my stories in the back, they will be, this one doesn't have it because it was, it's going to be a QR code to a song. This one has a song. Okay, when I ship it to you, I'll give you a sheet of songs. You could just point your phone to, and you get all the songs. All those songs were made by me. I wrote them using AI and myself and working on them, and then I executed them using Murica, which is a great AI song maker. I also have some that were done by artists. I paid artists to sing them, and they are fantastic. They're on Amazon actually. So these are the two books. I have a whole section on. I think I showed you this in a past video on investigative voices, but I'll show it to you again. This is a very calming book. Each page has a little tea set, and what is tea? Isn't it a way to sit down and calm down every day? You have a cup of tea, you smell some herbs, you look at some pretty, maybe you have uh, a little a little scone with it, and it just makes you happy, right? So tea is one of those rituals that are there to make you feel better. Okay, and this is all pictures of that. For every herb tea that there is, including regular tea, but also herb teas, and pictures that I made with um, Dali. Dali is works with ChatGPT. It used to be part of ChatGPT. Now I don't think it is, and now it's part of another software. But these are the pictures I was able to get. Very, very detailed, very high resolution, a lot of perspective, a lot of lighting. These are beautiful, beautiful pieces. And of course, my prompting, which is very, very long. I make very long prompts, and that's why you get this. Okay. So it's me with my little brush, but instead of a brush, I use words that I tell how to paint it. Okay, this is how I get this. You have to tell it about the leaves. You have to tell it about the cup. You have to tell it, you have to paint it in your head. And then, so it is me, but it's done by AI. It's painted or printed by AI. It's a printer of what's in my head. Okay. Think of it as a printer of what's in my head without me having to put it on a canvas. Okay. So, beautiful, right? Lighting. Look at the lighting. Look at the lighting on the leaves. I love that. If I was painting, I would be painting each one with a different green. Um, I love stuff like this. So this is the herb. This one sells all the time. I always sell one or two of these. People love it once they page through it. At the craft show, what you get is people page through the entire book. They ask me if I used AI, and I say yes. So if they bought it at the craft show, they know I used AI because I tell them, and they go, "But this is beautiful." I said, "Yeah, I know. It's a good way to paint." You paint digitally. Okay. No, AI doesn't come up with this. I have to tell them that I want this. Okay. So I kind of explain to people how I work, and the stories are very nice. And it's a nice book. It's $10. They can't complain. Okay. I think I showed you the cat book. It's a coloring book with different beautiful cats. And I love cats, so of course this one. I like the action ones. The action ones. What are these? Some of them have names, some of them don't. Okay. So basically you could take this and blow it up on your photocopy machine. It's okay. And then start painting over it, and you would have a beautiful painting. You can use acrylics, and or you can make a t-shirt out of it, paint it and make a t-shirt. All kinds of things you can do with these coloring books. They're not just for coloring on the page. You could copy it and make something out of it. Okay. I don't tell you can't copy it. You can copy it. Okay. That's the book. It's got the colors and the black and white. That's also available on my website. um, this is the story of my dog Licorice when he runs away. And this is a dog parent's worst nightmare, when your dog runs away and you can't find him. And it's a very scary story for dog parents, but it's also very entertaining for the kids because he meets all kinds of friends in the forest. And he's only really out. He's only really ran away into like 100 feet. He's not gone too far. And he does come back. So in case you're horrified at the fact that your dog runs away, no, he gets back. He's back. Okay. The little kitty cat brings him back because he's always coming over to see if he can find food. So, but it's a cute little story. It's all about my area, Little Lake Harbor, where we have an amazing collection of wildlife, animals of all kinds, forests that you wouldn't believe. Absolutely cannot believe that this exists in New Jersey. It does. And it's a beautiful place. It's got beaches. It's got wild animals of all kinds. It's got huge forests that we use to filter our water. Really, they filter the water. They're there to filter the water. Um, and we have, of course, whale watching tours. People don't associate New Jersey with whale watching. Yes, we have whales. We have dolphins. We have all of that stuff. We have farms. We have uh, beautiful museums, all kinds of stuff. So if you're thinking to take a flight somewhere, but you live in Pennsylvania, you live in New York, think New Jersey. It's not bad. It's a very nice place, and it's within driving distance. So Cape May is beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. Okay. So I just a little plug for New Jersey because I think people watching may enjoy me plugging New Jersey, and I do have a book about New Jersey, and this is the Little Egg Harbor U-boat conspiracy. Okay, written by none other than Charles Lupinto. It says Lydia, but I really did not write this. He wrote it. Okay. Okay, so let me tell you the story of what's happened with our books. We have three books. This one was written in the year 2000, 1999 to 2000, before 9/11. It was written. It was our first novel together. We nearly divorced over it because we were arguing left and right on what should be in the book. And we have a whole history. I think I'm going to put out the history of covers. We have all kinds of covers, and in all kinds of versions of the book. It went through several editorials since then. And the latest one is the AI editorial because I wanted to put pictures in it in AI made pictures. Okay, so it was not bad. I put a picture for every two pictures per chapter, I think. So this is our heroes underwent also a transformation. We made them more realistic. In this book, Julie, who is an EPA agent, consultant to the FBI. She's from the EPA, and she's there to help Sean, who is kind of ex narc who's become an alcoholic, to track what's going on in this ship. In this ship, what we have is people dumping stuff for a price, because what's better place to dump stuff than the ocean? Off Alaska when nobody's going to see. Okay. So if you have all kinds of toxins, and this is real, okay, this has happened, uh, people take a drum of whatever crap you want to get rid of, and they'll just dump it in the ocean, drum and all, and it'll sit there for the next millennia. Okay. Um, they get involved in finding the culprits. They actually catch them throwing the stuff of shore, and this is based on a true case that happened in Puerto Rico on one of the cruise liners. They were dumping crap into the ocean, and they arrested them. But in this one, it's a little worse than just toxic chemicals. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there, but they nearly die. It's a whirlwind of mystery and action and everything that my husband loves in a movie. Okay, and I was trying to put in the romance, but he wasn't happy about the romance. But anyway, we got through it and we published our first book. And then, not that long afterwards, we published a much longer book called the Case of the Toxic Train. And this was Julie and him get back together and go to South Carolina to figure out what happened with this toxic spill in one of the towns that nearly killed most people. And this is also based on a true story that happened then. And now it happened again. Not that long ago, not a few months ago, another spill like this. So, since we wrote the book in the year 2000, nothing has changed as far as safety for chemical transportation. Nothing. Because we had a spill that was the same thing with all the fumes, people having to evacuate, people dead. We had it. Of course, was the news mentioning this? Yes, it was mentioned, but not where you see it every day on the mainstream media. You see it in local town reports. Okay, so it happened, and a lot of them have happened already since we wrote it in the year 2001. It was after 9/11. Um, you know what? We thought of writing a book about not like in 9/11 before 9/11 happened. We thought of something like that, and we said, "Nah, that's never going to happen." So we're going to talk about something that did happen, which is the toxic trains, and then it happened. As we were publishing this, 9/11 happened. Okay, and I'll tell you a story about 9/11 and myself. I was working in one of the twin towers. I used to, uh, I think it was the building next to it, but I crossed from the subway through the twin towers every day to get to this job. I was a consultant there for a company called I1, and it was trying to create a search engine at that point. And I was a consultant and I was working with the contractors that were doing the coding. So I'd go through the twin towers every day and go up many flights up through this building that was adjacent to the twin towers as I crossed over. And getting a little emotional thinking about it. And I worked with a bunch of people there. And um, on the weekend, we decided, hey, I go through the Twin Towers every day. Let's go for the restaurant up there. We went up to the restaurant. We took pictures. We were having such a good time on top of the World Trade Center. And then that week, uh, a week before, I found a new job. And this job was closer to where my husband lived, and we were planning to move to New Jersey. And not New Jersey, but Long Island at the point we were moving to Long Island. This job was in Long Island, and my husband worked in Long Island, and we thought we were going to sell the place that we had in New York and move to Long Island, where we'd be closer to Jones Beach. We moved close to Jones Beach. So I took the job 3 days, and 3, 4 days before the 9/11, and I was at the job working, and I were driving over to the jobs. We used to have to drive from New York until we got the house, and a a driver that we never met before stopped and told us that the Twin Towers had been collapsing, had been hit by airplanes. And we were like, oh, turn on the radio, turn on the radio. What's going on? We didn't have cell phones like today, we didn't have that. We had to turn on the radio. And yeah, sure enough, when I went to work, everybody was a zombie. Everybody was in the cafeteria watching the towers collapse. My boss was hysterical, complaining that we were caught with our pants down because we didn't build enough security. She used to work for Boeing, and in Long Island, and she just decided that she wasn't going to even look at the movies, and she decided keep working. You know, that was one type of response. The other, my boss, he just walked out like a zombie, and he stayed away for 3 or 4 days. Um, I ate two tuna fish sandwiches because it's what I do when I'm very nervous. I eat, and I watched in horror that these twin towers that I crossed every day from the subway, and I was wondering what was happening to my coworkers who were in the adjacent building that eventually also collapsed. And it was just no emotion. There was no crying, there was no tears. We were all zombies in shock. And it took weeks for me to cry. Everybody, it took them weeks. Some people just didn't come back to work. They left. My boss, infinitely so sensitive about what happened to thousands of people, came back and said, this might be a good time for you, Lydia, to give up on your contract and go full time for $10,000 less a year. I said, are you fucking kidding me? I I can't believe you would use this to try to get me to work for less money. Anyway, there are all kinds of people in this world, and some react differently than others. Some see death as an opportunity, others see death as a way to zone out and pretend it didn't happen. We had all kinds of things. Eventually, of course, I left that company because they just irked me, and I got a job in another company in Long Island, which I lasted for quite a while. Um, so that was my story of a 9/11, and then of course I found out the firemen that died from Long Island. There were so many. There were so many little flags on lawns from firemen that had gone to the 9/11 and given up their lives to save others. Uh, it's it's beyond. So if I ever see one of these conspiracy theory memes to try to get clicks, claiming that this was fake, that this was a 3D mirage, that this was a projection, please, please, you're going to get deleted, reported, and blocked. Okay? I don't want to hear stuff like that. People died. Okay? There were almost deaths. A friend of mine, her brother had been in the building doing a repair a day before. Right before the day before he was there. Okay? And by some miracle he survived. So yeah, 9/11 did happen, and thank God we didn't write about it. I don't think it would have been a good thing to release a book about something that could happen that then did happen. It's a good thing we decided not to. But this is the toxic train, which actually did happen, and you know, it has devastated many towns in the United States. So the other book that we just wrote, this is the third. Okay, for after 2000, the couple, they find each other, but then they separate. Like all young couples today, they're stupid. They choose the job over romance. Okay, so each goes their own way. She becomes head of the EPA. He's working as a consultant in Little Lake Harbor uh, for the not for the Navy, for, well, I'll let you find out. Okay. He becomes a consultant, and he works in Little Lake Harbor, and they haven't seen each other in years. Okay. They were young when they met, and now they're pretty much older people. Okay. And they meet, and they're actually taken, there's not enough people today to staff these projects or these types of crimes to intelligent people with experience. So they're called in to take care of the U-boat conspiracy in Little Lake Harbor and find out what's going on. Okay. And this was all written by my husband. And me, I did contribute a lot of the editing, a lot of the pictures, a little bit of the romance. I was able to sneak in there without him complaining about it. And you'll see what happens. So, this is a romance between two much more mature people that meet years after they were together on a case. This is a new case, but they're now older and they have moved on. Okay. So, we'll see what happens in Little Lake Harbor with these two, Julie and Sean Ryan. Okay. All these books are going to be linked at the bottom if you're interested. And do subscribe to all my publications here. They're all free. The Good Vibes newsletter you get for free every week. It might go into twice a week. The calming videos that I'm constantly creating for you to meditate with. And some of the content, I have a lot of other content, relaxing videos uh, with stories that I've created and I have lots of. So I'm putting all these out into a free channel here on Substack so that you could take some time off and enjoy just relaxing with some of this content. Okay. I may put out some of the children's books. Why not? The children's books are very cute. So I have a few videos I can make about them, and but there's always going to be a link to my website there. Thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoy this new channel of happiness and positive thinking and meditation and relaxation. And I hope you let me know what kinds of things you want me to post. I can make up stuff if you tell me what you want. Okay. Thank you very much. Bye bye.